Hello, this video is what I think about animals. Um, Now, I think that the earth is growing, our minds are growing, our brains are getting stronger. And I think one of the main ways this is going to manifest itself in the near future, and is now, is how we are going to start realizing that animals are people, just like us. I think we're all going to realize pretty soon that when animals die and when we die, we go to the same place. There isn't an animal heaven and a human heaven. There is just a heaven. And I think people do reincarnate as animals. The Greeks believe this. They believe that bad people reincarnated as wolves. And I think people do that just for fun. You know, people nowadays, they would go, oh yeah, I'll reincarnate as an animal, and, you know, sure. So why not? I think generally animals are younger souls than us, and they live as an animal as a stepping stone to become a human, especially domestic animals, especially dogs and cats. But I think we are going to realize soon that animals are people, and that they're a lot more intelligent than we have given them credit for. And it goes along with the whole pattern of growth of understanding people intelligent. Before, we thought that, you know, black people, some people would say that black people don't even have souls, and then you go, oh, okay, black people, but they're stupid, they're like monkeys. And then, you know, there's some, I think, Middle Easterners who think women don't even have souls. They're like automatons. So, you know, and then, so then now people think that animals don't have souls. And then people think that animals don't know anything, don't know what's going on at all. And, you know, it's true, when you take your cat to the vet, the cat will scream and yell and cry and not knowing what's going on. And because, you know, cats don't speak English, so you can't go, hey cat, I'm only going to give you a shot. We're only going to chop your balls off. We're not going to, you know, kill you. And but, you know, the same thing is with little kids. Little kids scream and cry when you take them to the dentist, so it's the same thing. So saying like an animal doesn't know what's going on, I think animals quite clearly know what's going on. I mean, just look at a dog. When a nice person comes by, the dog is happy and jumping up and down. But if somebody with bad energy comes around, the dog barks at him. So in a lot of times, dogs know more what's going on than humans. So if you were to read the mind of a dog, I think most people would be astonished by how smart animals actually are. I don't think they will be like, if you read the mind of a dog, most people think if you read the mind of a dog, he's just thinking, you know, nothing, basically. But I think if you were to read the mind of a dog, the dog would be thinking all kinds of things, like, oh, I remember him, he's a nice guy, I think he's the brother of this guy. Because dogs know what brothers and sisters are. They remember having little brothers and sister puppies. And you know, they know. I mean, just think, when you there's also stories of dogs even being psychic, more psychic than we are. Like the dog jumping up, and there's a woman named I can't remember her name, but she wrote a book called The Field, and it's called Non-Locality, and they actually do experiments. And dogs will, you know, jump up and down and wag their tail and get excited when their owners are driving home and they're not even around the block yet. So I think they do have a certain connection, and in cats too, that we don't. So I think, you know, dogs and animals have all sorts of stuff going on in their head. They probably know what our relationships are, and maybe, you know, in a lot of ways they know more. Now one way to point this out is just type like painting elephants on YouTube. And I saw videos of elephants in India painting themselves with their trunks and it was a good painting. It was a better painting than a tiny little kid would do. It was a painting that maybe a really good artist, 6 years old or something, would do. It was three-dimensional. They'd have the elephant walking with the legs behind, like from the side, and so you'd have the legs behind the front legs, the front and the back. It's all perfectly proportional, and you know, even to the gait. They didn't get the gait of the elephant wrong. They got the whole stride down, and it was a great painting. You can actually watch the elephant paint. And not only this, but the elephant in the painting is holding a flower. A big flower. So the elephants appreciate and know that flower is a signifies peace and love. And so they decide to put a flower there in their trunk, in their painting. It's amazing. And just look about how much you can train elephants to do, to jump on each other's backs and do around, and and all the other animals you can train, the monkeys, the tigers, and especially dogs. And you can even train cats. And I think for this, it is very important, even though herd animals are here on the earth to feed us, and that's great. We should always eat herd animals. But I think we need to really, really, really cut down our meat consumption to the point where we don't have to have slaughterhouses. Because these animals know they're going to die. They're not happy. And if they're people like us, why would you make people unhappy and fearful? And this is in the millions that we're doing this. We have millions and millions of animals in slaughterhouses. I was riding my bike up a mountain in Arequipa, Peru at like 3 in the morning, and I rode past a slaughterhouse, what I thought was a slaughterhouse, because I heard hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of animals screaming, all of them screaming at the top of their lungs. And I don't know what was going on, but they were all clearly in agony. I don't know what was going on, but it was just that is hell. I think if somebody dies and goes to hell, like Hitler, bad people, they reincarnate in slaughterhouses. That's hell. So why do we have to have a hell on earth? We should try to separate hell and earth. We want to get hell as far away from us as possible, because that actually influences our etheric field with pain. So all of these organizations that help animals are good, and we should try to put an end and take seriously the giving pain to animals. There's people out there who would kick animals. In South America, they don't have any respect for animals. They'll kick dogs and cats like they don't even have souls, and that's wrong. We should not kick animals. You can treat animals. You can train animals to be nasty. Like the animals in South America are nasty. Dogs will bark at you, cats will scratch you, and so we should be nice to animals, because they know a lot more than we think they do. I think they're a lot smarter. I mean, look at parrots. They can talk. They have huge vocabularies, and they even live longer than us. And even turtles. There's turtles alive now that were in Galapagos that were hanging out with Charles Darwin. So, and dolphins, their brains are larger than ours. And look at all the training you can do. You can teach dolphins and whales to do killer whales. It's amazing. So, anyways, I'm out of time. I say, be good to the animals because they're very, very smart. They're people.